Good evening. Chief Malik Aziz, Prince George's County Police Department. This is a update from what Deputy Chief McCreary gave last evening. So I want to thank you all for being here as we discuss the arrest of the suspect who went on a violent crime spree in our county yesterday evening. She is 31-year-old Tanae Stallings Brown of Baltimore. Earlier this afternoon, the agency put out a release detailing the multiple crimes she committed. Over the course of 1.5 hours, Stallings Brown intentionally struck multiple pedestrians with her car and also stabbed 2 victims, one adult male and a 15-year-old girl. Both are critically injured. The teen's injuries are considered life-threatening. Through various investigative techniques, detectives were able to identify the car in each of these crimes, which was a dark-colored Chevrolet Malibu. The vehicle was tracked and located in Baltimore. At approximately 10:50 p.m., with the assistance of Baltimore Police Department, the suspect was observed entering the car. A traffic stop was conducted in the 2300 block of Washington Street. Officers took Stallings Brown into custody and transported her back to Prince George's County Police Department. The car she was driving had significant front end damage and a damaged or smashed windshield. The crime Stallings Brown committed occurred across 3 different Prince George's County police divisions. Commanders and investigators in each of these divisions worked aggressively to interview victims and witnesses and attempted to locate any video or images of the suspect. Investigators were able to determine the crimes were all linked and committed by one female suspect. Within 6 hours of her first crime, PGPD detectives identified, located, and arrested her in Baltimore. I'm proud of each of these officers and the fine work that they continue to do. They work with determination to arrest the suspect who would so brazenly come into our community and cause harm to 6 innocent victims. We sincerely wish each of those victims well in their recoveries. Many residents in our community and even the most veteran officers in our agency have been asking why. Why did she do this and then return to Baltimore? Why was she in Prince George's County? We don't have an answer to that right now. At this point, the motive is just unclear. It appears she chose her victims at random. Stallings Brown is in the custody of Prince George's County Department of Corrections. She is charged with dozens of offenses to include multiple counts of attempted first-degree murder, assault, and additional charges related to striking pedestrians. In closing, in my more than 3 decades of policing, almost 3.5, I've rarely seen a suspect this determined across this length to inflict harm on innocent people. It's deeply disturbing. I do hope the community takes comfort in knowing that she is now in our custody and unable to cause any more pain. With that, I'll take a few questions to answer anything or clear up anything. I'll start over here.
Thank you, Mr. J. Ford from Channel 7. In interviewing any of the victims, did anybody indicate anything that would give you a sense, like, did the suspect say things to them, yell at them? Is there any sense of what was going on in her mind? And just to follow up, do you believe, based on the tox or other things that how she smelled, is there any chance that she was
The answer to that is we don't have any of that information right now. It's a good question, but here's what's in front of that. We have a 15-year-old girl, who have serious injuries right now. So we want to give her and her family space to make sure that she recovers from this tragic, traumatic incident. And the other victim, being an adult, which officers who arrived on that scene were able to deliver what I believe is life-saving first aid. And we'll know more as their conditions improve. At least that's in our hopes and thoughts and prayers, that we'll be able to glean any more information that would lead us to what was actually going on in the mind of this individual, for that individual, for Stallings Brown to commit such a horrific act in Prince George's County. I'll get over here first, and then I'll move back here and here.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you for the investigators. What can you tell us about this suspect? Does she have any sort of criminal history, and have police ordered toxicology reports? Does she need to cooperate right now?
Well, that is part of the investigation, and yes, she does have a record from what we have found. The unofficial record of criminal history, she has incidents going back to at least 2011 for different incidents. So she does have a criminal history on record in the city of Baltimore, at least one, and multiple offenses. And so we're looking at that. Part of the investigation is for a normal investigation, I would say, for us to order up all reports and things that would lend a hand to the intelligence of the investigation. So we're working through those things right now. It's still early, and we have a lot of work to do. Right now, we are thankful that we were able to bring her into custody in such a short amount of time with the help of our determined and diligent officers and the help of Baltimore Police Department. Almost.
Any sense if she is being cooperative?
Not at this point. Okay. Step over here, and then back over here.
Thank you. Is it your understanding that she came from Baltimore to Richard's accident, or she was already in the area?
Well, we don't fully understand that at this point. We have really no idea why she was here in Prince George's County. We have a belief that she came down from Baltimore and went back, but that would be speculation on our part right now. We have no other place to put her at this time. I'm sure our investigators are going to find that. They're going to come to some determination or some conclusion that would warrant why was she in Prince George's County and where did she come from. Again, we have some of the best investigators in police, and they're going to put these things together.
Were you also able to find any weapons?
Not at this point. Not at this point.
That are not recovered?
We haven't recovered that weapon at this point.
I just want to make sure I heard your answer to the previous reporter that she's not cooperating. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't have that on my records here that she is cooperating at this point. I have my team behind me, so I'm, if they've gotten some information that, is gleaning, I don't think we like to lean on the side of too much speculation if people are cooperating or not, because I think we would have the answers to why she was here, why was she stabbing, innocent people, and some other things. I think we would have all that information. Not to say that a person won't cooperate in the future, but we don't understand that now fully. But our detectives, they are going to do their due diligence to find out, where this person was, what she was doing, how she was doing it, and why did she in turn commit those acts and then drive back to Baltimore, and as if nothing occurred. It's a pretty strange ordeal.
The question I want to ask, they've been answered for the most part. The cab driver, so could you just clarify, so he was just there and she kind of flagged him down, so to speak, and was he stabbed like in his own car?
Well, and I'll tell you in a preliminary investigation, because that information directly we have not obtained. But I'll tell you what we believe occurred then, is that that driver was at that location as anyone operating a business, for any type of, ride, business, and she was at that location, and she may have either, she left one location and kind of walked to another that was in close proximity, but they were in the same location at one point. She had some type of conversation with him, we believe. That was probably dealing with taking a fare or going to a location, and gained access to the rear passenger seat is what we would understand at this time. And during that time is when this violent altercation took place. The description of what would take place is that she used a knife and she stabbed that individual. The male, he has great resolve that he was able to, give a struggle and prevent further injury if it wasn't horrific enough, and make it back inside the location where police could be called to the scene, which we were already actively looking for this individual, and where we administered life-saving first aid to that individual. So it happened really fast. We don't know all of the details to that yet, but we know that we believe she was requesting some type of fare. It possibly could have been a ruse just to get inside, because she had already stabbed and ran over multiple people. She had already stabbed one person and ran over multiple people. So that's where we were. I got here first and then.
Jessica on the Washington Post, is there any indication there were additional victims? I know you said there were 6 victims, and was she working alone, or any indication there was another person working with her?
We don't have any indication at this point that anyone else was with her. I know that came up yesterday in some kind of, someone was speculating about, did she have an accomplice or someone who was in the car with her. At this point in time, we have no one else. That is a point we're looking at. We're going to make sure that she was alone, if anybody was with her, since it has come up in the investigation, but we don't have any intelligence or any information that would indicate anyone else is involved besides Stallings Brown.
And any additional victims, or just?
No, not yet. While we're talking about additional victims, usually a 911 call takes place or somebody is calling us to the scene. These are the reports that we got. But I would urge our residents, if anything occurred with that Chevrolet Malibu yesterday in any kind of way, no matter how insignificant they believe it to be, that I would urge them to give us a call. And so we can actually use that information, because what may seem to be small or insignificant to that person could actually add more details to our investigation. And if anyone was victimized with a car accident, or they were, the car ran over them or hit them or attempted to injure them, or even an attempt, we'd like to know that. So thank you. Yes, sir.
Scott Young with WTOP. Just wanted to ask you, in terms of the sequence of this, can you describe how quickly these things happened across Prince George's County to a point where she was able to flee and continue to do this before you all were able to?
Yeah. Well, let me kind of explain. I mean, unless you want me to go over you read the timeline?
Yeah.
Okay, so I won't read the timeline again. So, and it's posted. It's across 3 different divisions. And the way Prince George's County, unlike, just like any other county or any other city, it is divided. We have 8 police divisions. So this person started in one division, went to another division, came back to that same division, committed a couple of acts, and then went to a different division. So 3 different divisions were involved. The way dispatching occurs, an incident happens, a person calls 911, it goes down to our dispatch center, it is dispatched to that individual division. And so it takes a minute to put those things together. Now, behind the scene, Deputy Chief McCreary goes over to Bureau of Patrol when he is receiving this information from all of his commanders, because those are significant incidents to us. And then that quick intelligence would say, this is a description. Wait a minute, that was a description on this one. Meanwhile, officers across divisions are talking back to dispatch, advising them that this may be the same incident that is happening across the lines. So it happens like that. It's really fast moving, but it explains why in different divisions things are. If that would have happened in the same division, the same place, it would have been very easy. But when it happens across multiple divisions, then that's the sequence that takes place. I believe, and I know this from the time of the act, this violent act, and the time that we had her in custody in less than 6 hours, our officers at Prince George's County, the leadership and the officers, and our peer department in Baltimore City should be commended for putting together these things and making sure that we had enough intel to bring that person into custody, because there are incidents like this that happen that sometimes can take days or months or maybe even not find that person at all. So
Just walk us very briefly through what happened to that little girl, and that attack was pretty savage.
well, I think, yeah, you describing it as savage. I think anytime somebody stabs you with a knife for no reason and cause you to be in a hospital in critical condition, yeah, that's savage enough. I don't have any other adjectives to describe for what Stallings Brown did to a 15-year-old. But that person was seemingly. And I'll tell you what it came to us. The a wreck happened, or an accident occurred, maybe intentional. And then the two individuals who were struck by the car, the driver of that car, who was Stallings Brown, exited the vehicle, and then clearly, nowhere unprovoked, anything happened, stabbed that individual just as quick as that. So what we believe from the other incidents is that she was intentionally striking pedestrians to get out, to harm them, to either cause them serious injury or death. And if that did not work, then we believe Stallings Brown's intended to kill them with the knife that she had. There's nothing I could say to add to anything to that. There's no more adjectives I have to describe it. It's horrific. It's one of those things that happen in policing that you see, that you don't see. You see a lot of bad things in this job. It happens. You see something, a lot of times, more than the normal average person. But this right here, these intentional acts, we are fortunate right now that those individuals are alive, critical, but alive, life-threatening injuries. And bringing her to justice, bringing her to the first step of justice was very important for our victims, for their family and relatives and friends, and it's very important to the leadership you see behind me, and it's very important to the men and women who are detectives and investigators and officers who want to bring that person in. And I'm fortunate and glad that they did.
Just to your point about the fact that this did take less than 6 hours to find her when it could have taken days in other situations. Can you just talk a little bit about the process of whether this was an all hands on deck thing using license plate readers or video cameras, how this transpired that encounter so quickly?
Every tool at our disposal. Once we realized, the first incident, things occurred. These things happened, and assaults with weapons and things like that happen. But once the second one happened and we were gathering intel, it was, let's find this person. Every police officer knows, police officers on active patrol, they're looking for this individual. We're following up leads at the scene. We're running these things through our various tools that we have to locate this person with all of the intelligence that we were getting. And it was every officer that we had available. This was known that we were looking for this Chevrolet that had committed these crimes: pedestrian accidents with a vehicle and the stabbing.
Can you describe the moment the suspect was taken into custody? Was there any back and forth with officers? What was that scene?
We don't have anything on that right now. We took her into custody with a Baltimore PD without incident, and that was it.
Did you say she was on probation, parole, or when she had last gotten out of jail for any of these prior offenses?
Well, I don't know when the last time she got out of jail. Our last charge on, Baltimore City, and this would be unofficial for me. Baltimore City would be the official, agency to release any record. But those were minor incidents in 2021 and some major incidents as far as 2018. Our understanding, and it's very preliminary right now, is that this individual may have been responsible for some type of similar act in the city of Baltimore. But that is unconfirmed at this point by Baltimore PD with us as they work through their investigation. I think we have two cities who work together for the greater good of our region, and they're going to come and find out if these things, if this is true or not, and if so, I'm sure she'll answer to those charges in Baltimore City.
We'll take one more question.
Just quickly, you said there were no weapons that were encountered from the scene so far. What did the
Yeah.
police expect happened? What did
Yeah.
you expect happened?
Yeah, I'll turn to my team back here. Do we have any deal with that? We'll have a Deputy Chief McCreary step up.
Good evening, everyone. At this point, we're still exhausting all investigative methods. We still have not determined what's occurred with the weapon at this point. Just like the chief said, we really don't have any rhyme or reason, and we're trying to track down the individual's whereabouts, how they came to the county, when they went back to Baltimore City, and all those things. But they take time. Again, it's only been a day at this point, and we're still trying to piece things together.
I'll add to that. Thank you, Deputy Chief McCreary. I'll add to that. We have every belief that we will find, that weapon, or we're going through our normal procedure now. So we take things very methodically. So we don't, we mitigate any errors or mistakes. Our investigators are, again, I'll express my gratitude for officers, detectives, investigators with Prince George's County Police. They do their due diligence, and they will. If that is out there, we're going to find it, and we're gonna uncover everything we can to add value to this investigation and bring justice to the victims who were involved in this and the families whose lives are involved at this point. So, but thank you very much. I appreciate you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.